first time. So, for all those who are joining us for the first time, Swiggy Catalyst is a session where we pick an important topic and discuss that with a product or a business expert for you all, and also address the questions you have shared via the registration form. You can access these videos on the Swiggy Partner YouTube channel or also on Learning Station. Learning Station is a digital academy available for all partners in the owner and partner app. You will find learning from Swiggy on products and dashboards and from experts from the culinary world there. You can check Learning Station on your own owner and partner app. Today, we are going to be addressing challenges faced in partner payouts. And we have Lalit who will be taking us through this session. I'd like to welcome you, Lalit. Over to you for a small introduction.
Hey Melvin, hi. Thanks for that. Hi everyone. My name's Lalit, and I am a senior product manager here. And I have been taking care of the entire payouts systems for you. So all the payments that you receive every week, the reports, the data that you see on the app, right, is something that I'm taking care of today in the organization. Oh, yeah, Melvin, thanks.
Yes, thanks for that, Lalit. So, in our registration form and even otherwise, right, we have encountered partners mentioning multiple challenges that they face when it comes to understanding their payouts. Therefore, before I ask you anything about this, I have a question for our partners who have joined us today. So, there'll be a poll that's going to pop up now. So, I would request everyone to please key in your responses. Yeah, I can see some answers beginning to come up. So right now, I think a majority of the answers seem to be around I don't understand my payout report, and okay, even higher than that, the amount released does not match my calculations. Got it. Got it. Okay, everyone, I think we're done with that. So it looks like uh, a lot of you have said, I don't know how to access my payouts and I don't understand my payout report, and that the amount released does not match my calculations. Okay, so Lalit, we can see the responses, right? So can you throw some light on how to handle these challenges? I think we could probably start with the first one, which is how to access my payouts.
Sure. Hey folks, thanks for taking our time to answer the poll. Uh, so the way I will run the session is we'll try to address all these challenges that we called out, especially the top three ones that got the most votes, right? So the way I'd want to do this is I'll just show you the different sections that are available to you, that you can from where you can access your payouts, you can access your calculations, you can understand your reports, right? So we'll be covering that, right? So what I'll just quickly do is just give you a quick view of what and how we plan to run it, right? And then I'll just give you a live walkthrough of how you can access the payouts and how do you read your reports. Let me know once my screen shows. Hi, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Can you confirm? Yeah. Sure. So first thing, right, where do I get my payouts from? So we have our own restaurant app, right, which you can download from either the Play Store if you're on Android. You can get the owner app from the App Store if you are using an iPhone, right, or an iPad. Or if you prefer using the application on a desktop or a laptop, we have our own website called partner.swiggy.com. You can just register yourself there and get an access to all the functionalities of the application at your fingertips on your laptop or your computer. Right. Once you've downloaded the app, right, how do I access it? Right, is one of the key questions that people usually come up with. So when you land on the homepage, we have an option called finance and payouts, right? Simply tap on payouts and finance on the app, right? Or if you're accessing it through the desktop, there's an option called finance in the sidebar. Just click on it, and then you'll sort of get access to all your payouts and the breakdown of it, right? Then the other source is my payout annexures. So it's a weekly statement of account that we share on your registered email ID once the payout is released and credited in your account. So this is another source that you can use and utilize to understand what your payouts look like for the current cycle, right? And then towards the last section of the call, I'll be covering how can you as a restaurant partner, right, download a monthly or a quarterly view of the payout, because I think that's one feedback we receive a lot, that partners find it difficult to reconcile the weekly annexures, right? So we'll be covering and explaining how you can get access to a monthly or a quarterly view of your payouts to make your life and make your filing process a little smoother and easier, right? I'll just quickly switch to my phone and just give you a walkthrough on the app. Hey, Melvin, I'm not able to share. Can you just make me the host of the meeting?
Yeah, sure.
The other account?
Nelina, can you make
You can do that.
Lalito? Okay, he got it.
Thank you so much. All right. So when I download the owner app, right, this is the view that I see. This is the homepage, right? You see the app can be used for running your day-to-day, for understanding your payment statement, for raising any support tickets, right? For managing your outlet, for managing your timings, right? So this app sort of serves as a one-stop shop for anything that you want to enable on Swiggy, right? For the sake of this discussion, we'll only be covering we'll be focusing all our discussions around the payouts and finance section, where I'll just give you a walkthrough of, what we've done now on the new payout section. How can you access your payouts? How can you access your reports? And then, and how do you understand what each payment term means, right? So when I land here, I see on top, there are 4 options available. These are the 4 different sections of the payouts and the finance module. Right. My first section is the payout overview, which basically explains, and gives me access to what my current payout is looking like and what my final payout, which I receive, or the payout which I have already received, looks like. Right. Then we have the download reports option on top. So this will give me access to the monthly and the quarterly reports. More on that later. I'll come back to this section. Then we have a my credit section, which is the credit limit, which is assigned to a certain set of restaurants, right? And then there's a fees and policy section, which basically gives me a view of, at an outlet level, what are the various fees that we've, or the policies that are applicable on your payouts, right? I'll move on to the payout overview section. So this is the payout homepage that I see, right? So let's say if I'm a multi-outlet owner and I have my restaurant spread across different cities, I see a city level grouping available. So Kochi, Hyderabad, Surat, for example, right? These are the different cities in which I have a restaurant which I'm owning or co-owning, right? Now I simply tap on a city name and I can see the different outlets that are part of that city. On top, I see the area, the restaurant ID, right? And this card tells me what is my current trending payout post my live deductions, right? So post my current commission calculations, post my current advertisements burn, if I'm sort of purchase an advertisement, right? After all that adjustments, I see a net value, which tells me that this is what I should be receiving till date, right? Then the orders tells me the total number of orders that I've serviced, right? On the bottom, we see the payout time period. So 1st to 5th October is the current cycle of the payout. And then the date on which the payout is actually going to hit your account, which is the 9th of October, right? So a lot of times what we see is partners don't really know or understand when the payment is going to hit their account, or when are they actually going to receive the money, right, from Swiggy. So this view here, this calendar view, basically the time period and the date on which the payment is received, right, will help you identify and know when exactly the payment is going to come to you, so that you can plan your operations around it, right? Additionally, what you see here is there's a workflow for complaints where if like let's say if a customer has raised a complaint which is attributed to a restaurant, right? Uh, I get an option to resolve that complaint in 5 days, either respond to it, either reject it or accept it, right? If in those 5 days, if my payout is released and me as a restaurant partner have not taken an action on that complaint, right? We don't pay for that order in the current cycle. Rather, we wait for the next cycle till the complaint is resolved to pay it out to you, right? So one way to differentiate on whether all my complaints are resolved and have all of them been included in my payout calculation, we show a number on the side, right? In the second option that you see, 197 plus 6. This 6 means that for this particular restaurant, 6 of my complaints have not been acted on. And then there's an option to simply tap here and go to the complaint section on my app, right? So I can view the details of the complaint and then respond to it accordingly, right? Whether accept it or use the other options available, right? Now, if I tap on view details, I get a detailed view of my live payouts, right? So it tells me what is the total number of orders that have been included in my payment cycle, right? The plus 6 tells me the overall unresolved complaints that I have. Once I resolve them, my payout gets recalculated, right? The first section, so we've divided the whole thing into 5 broad sections. There's the overall value or the gross sales that the customer would have paid, including the GST we would have collected from the customer, right? Followed by the fees section, which is all the commissions that Swiggy is deducting, right? Then there is complaint and cancellation charges, which is basically my other order level deductions, which essentially means my cost sharing that is happening for Swiggy and customer cancel orders with the restaurant, right? And and the complaint amount that I have sort of that I'm recovering from your payout that I would have given to the customer on your behalf, right? Then there's a fourth section called total taxes. So total taxes tells me the GST 95 deduction that Swiggy is retaining on your behalf, right? Which they pay out to the government every month, right? And then the TCS in case you're a non-GST registered restaurant, and then the TDS, which is basically an order level deduction that we deduct to pay to the government on your behalf, right? And then there's a fifth section, which is the other charges and refunds. This is everything that I am purchasing for my restaurant. So whether it's my advertisements, whether it's my refunds, right? My first month commission refund that is promised to me, right? If I'm part of the program, all of that shows up here, right? Which tells me the overall restaurant level value that either I'll receive or will be deducted from my payout. And then the net payout, which tells me what is my current trending number, what is my overall net earnings after adjusting everything as of today, right? Now, each of the section here expands into the various components that contribute to the total value, right? So customer paid is nothing but your item total, your restaurant discounts. If I'm running a packaging fee on my order, I see a packaging value also here, right? And then the GST I've collected from the restaurant, from the customer. I'm so sorry, right? Then the overall fees that I'm deducting, the complaint and cancellation charges, right? Which is my restaurant share for cancel orders and my refund for customer complaints. Right? My GST deduction, which is my 95, right? And my TDS that I am collecting. Right. This restaurant, like you can see, is also running advertisement. So as of today, from the 1st of October, the number of clicks that I've burnt, right? So that value that has to be recovered or has to be billed to the restaurant will show up here. So this is also recent. So from first till now, whatever is my ad burn, I can see it here. And then I see the overall final value, which nothing but an addition of all the 5 sections that we see here. Right. So this was on the current payout. Right? What current payout does not include is certain charges which are calculated on a weekly basis, right? So your merchant cancellation charges for restaurant driven cancellations, right? That is something that is calculated once a week. So there's a possibility that we might see a difference in amount, but that would be primarily because some of these charges are calculated on a weekly basis instead of calculating it every day in real time. What we've also additionally done is we've introduced an order level view, right? So I can simply pick the order value, right? See the order and see what was my gross earning, what is the amount that I am making after all my deductions, right? And I can look at this for every order, right? I go inside an order, I see a similar view which tells me what is my total customer paid, what is my fees, right? What is the total taxes. All of that at an order level I can see, right? And what is the net money that I'll be receiving for a particular order, right? So this view sort of gives me an understanding of at an order level what is the breakdown and what is the various deductions and various additions that are there on the order, right? So what this particular section does not include is your restaurant level adjustments, right? Since it's an order level charge, we only show the order level fields here. So you would not see any previous outstanding. You would not see any advertisement burn here in this particular section, right? But you to access it, you have to either go to the if it's a current payout, you go to the previous section that we covered, and if it's from a previous payout, I'll show you how you can access that as well. Right? If you scroll to the bottom, you see there's a section called past payouts. So we show the four most recent payment cycles here, right? You just simply tap on view all to get a much more detailed view of a much more older view of your payments. So let's say 22nd to 30 September, this is something which is currently in process, right? What is the amount I was paid on 15th, right? Between 15th and 21st. Similarly, if I want to access my payout for August, I can do that, right? What we've also done is we've given you a custom date filter now so that you can go back to about 2 years in the past and still get a view of what you were paid. So let's say if I want to get a view of my July orders, I can simply filter and see what my payouts from 1st July to 31st July. Okay. What? Just come back. Right now, if I want to see a detailed view, a similar breakdown of what were the various charges that were deducted or refunded to me, right? I go back here, I see a very similar section, right? The breakdown is same, the terminology is absolutely same, right? And I can see what is the final values that is being deducted for me at a restaurant level, right? And if let's say if I want to understand what each of the term means, I can simply tap on the eye icon and understand. So we've given you a definition for every item, right? So that it helps you also understand what this charge is for, what this is about, right? And how do you treat it when you're responsible for it. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that should definitely solve the first challenge, Lalit, of accessing payouts. Before
Yeah.
we move on, I'd like to ask our partners again if this has been actually clarified for them. So we would have another poll coming up, and let's see the responses. Okay, that's interesting. We have around 80% of 80%, 83% of our partners say that they're clear on accessing payouts. Okay, so um, got it. So we have around 81% of our partners who say that they're clear on how to access their payouts. For the remaining 19%, I think things will get more clarified as we move on with the rest of the session, right? So now that we move beyond the first challenge of accessing payouts, Lalit, can we proceed to the next step, which is how do you think a partner could read and understand the detailed payout annexures?
Sure. Sure, Madam. Thank you so much. So before we jump on to the payout annexures, right? So a lot of questions that we receive is how do I get access to my payout reports, right? So there are two mediums in which we can do that, right? The first one being from the app. So this, right? So on the app, when I go to the past payout section, I have an option to download the report, right? And the other is a weekly email that we send out, right? So an email goes to the partner on the registered email ID each time a payout is released, right? So the email has attachments in it. So I'll just show you what the attachment looks like. Once you download the annexure, yeah. Once you download the annexure from your email, this is the file that gets downloaded, right? So this is the statement of account, right? So this is uh, where you can get access to your data in an Excel format. This is the place where you can use this data to run any sort of reconciliation at your end. Use it for your accounting purposes and or use it for your GST and tax filing, right? So the whole section of annexure is divided into six different tabs, right? The first one being the summary, which gives me like a very quick understanding of what the payout cycle was, when was the payout settled in my account, what is the overall amount that I was supposed to receive, right? Overall orders, which is the sum of my delivered and cancelled orders that were eligible for payment. And then what we've also done is we've included the UTR number here, right? So you can just simply use this UTR number and to refer for this particular transaction in your bank account, right? So this gives you an understanding of whether the right amount was credited to you or not, right? Then we have a bunch of sections to help you understand your payouts better, right? We have the payout breakup, right? Which tells me what is the breakup of my entire earnings. This is very similar to the screen that we saw on the app right now, right? Then the order level view. This gives me a consolidated view of all the orders that were eligible for payment in this cycle, and then a breakdown of my different sales, my deductions, my Swiggy fees, right? My taxes to arrive at the final order level value of what I was supposed to make for that order. Right? Then there's the unresolved customer complaint section, right? This section will include all the orders that were not paid because no action was taken on the complaint in the payout cycle, right? So once you resolve them on the app or on the partner dashboard, in the next cycle, the system will automatically use these orders and then settle these orders with you in the next cycle. Right? Then there's other charges and deductions. Right? This gives you an understanding of all the restaurant level deductions that have happened to you in the current cycle, as well as the ones that have been carried forward from previous weeks. Right? So, for example, in one of the cycles, your advertisement spend was slightly higher than what you made. In that case, what happens is we carry forward the balance amount to your next cycle. Right? One key challenge that we figured out a lot of partners faced was that they weren't able to differentiate or understand or identify whether the charge that is coming on the annexure is this current cycle's charge or is it something that is being carried forward from the previous cycle. Right? So we've tried to address that and solve that for you in this particular section. I'll cover that again later once we reach to it. Right? Then there's a discount summary view, which gives me a P&L understanding view of what my discounts look like. And then there is a glossary, which gives me an understanding of all the definitions and all the terms that are used in the current annexure. So this is basically our way of letting partners understand, right, what each of the terminology used in the annexure stands for. Right. I'll move on to the payout breakup. Right. This view is very similar to what we saw on the app, right? So orders will tell me what is the total number of orders. We've split this thing into delivered and cancelled for your ease of understanding, right? And then the overall total sum that I've been paid out for, right? Then the same 5 sections that we saw earlier is visible here, right? So there's customer paid, there's fees, then there's complaints and cancellation, there's other charges and refunds, and then there's taxes, and then there's my total net payout, right? Now, item total, packaging, discount share, GST. This typically forms the components of my overall customer paid. This is what the customer would have paid to the restaurant had right on the platform. So item total plus packaging is my overall gross sales. Discount share is my restaurant share of discount. So let's say if you're running a discount on an order on your restaurant, right? And then there's an agreement between, let's say, the restaurant and Swiggy, where restaurant agrees to do 80% of the funding and 20% is with Swiggy. This will only include the 80% share of the discount. So let's say if 100 rupees was availed on the order by the customer, right? Only 80 rupees will be attributed to the restaurant and only 80 will show up here is what we'll add. The rest 20 goes into the P&L for Swiggy. Right? GST collected based on the GST 95 rules, right? Whether you're a restaurant category, whether you're a hybrid category or a non-restaurant category, we collect the GST from the customer, and then we pass on this GST that we've collected to the government on your behalf. Right? Then the fee section. This is the various components that Swiggy collects that contributes to the overall fees that is collected by Swiggy. Right? Commission being your base commission, which is the percentage commission that you guys are onboarded on. Right? Then the long distance charges. This is an opt-in charge, right? Which essentially basically is the cost that Swiggy collects, right, for any long distance orders, right? And so on and so forth. There are various different charges here, right? And then the last item, which is basically the 18% service fee that is collected on the service charge, right? This is also collected from the partner, and then this is paid to the government on their behalf, right? And these are all invoiced. So with the annexure, you also receive an invoice in the email as well as on the app, right? So you can use this invoice for your GST return filing. Right? Then the customer and complaint section, which essentially is my merchant share of cancel orders, which is basis the cancellation policy that you are on, and the refund that we would have offered on your behalf and that you would have accepted on the complaints flow on the app. Right? Then there is the other charges and refund section. This is basically my restaurant level aggregate charge that I am collecting in this current cycle. Right? So let's say this restaurant would have bought a packaging material for 36 rupees, right? So we would have charged him 36 rupees from their payout. Right? Similarly, let's say they have purchased the top picks campaign through us, or they have purchased the CPC ads campaign through us, or a search ad campaigns through us, right? So you can clearly see a bifurcation of the different investments and the different collection that Swiggy has done on the restaurant, basis the services that the restaurant has availed. Right? So this gives me an aggregate sum. If I want to understand what is the split between campaigns, what is the split between this cycle and previous cycle, there's another sheet that we can go and refer to, which is the other charges and deductions. Right? Then there is there are my taxes, right? Which is my GST, TCS, and TDS. Right? This is the 95 value which we would have collected from the customer, and we retain it with us, right? And then we pay it every month to the government on the restaurant's behalf. And then there is a net payout, which tells me the final earning that I received as a restaurant. Right. Moving on to the order level breakup. Right. So this sheet gives me a detailed view of my order level earnings. So all deductions, all additions, right? All refunds offered to the customer is available in this particular sheet, right? So this gives you an overview of how your orders are performing. Right. So first field is the order ID. Right. Then there is the order date. Right. We've got the order status. So this could either be delivered or cancelled. Right. Uh, then there is the coupon type which the customer would have applied on the order. Right. Then from here is where we start the entire detailed view of how the order is structured and the breakup of it, right? So item total is the overall item total that the customer sees, right, after they've added the items in the cart. Right. Packaging charges is the overall packaging charges which is collected on this order from the customer. Right. Then restaurant discounts, so all your promos, freebies, your flat off, right? Any coupon discount, which is your Swiggy Eat discount, right? Which is your try new discount. All of these discounts that the restaurant is sort of owning is available here, right? So all the cost that is borne by you will show up here. So for example, here for flat deal, 100 rupees was something that was promised by the restaurant to offer to the customer. So we recover the money here, and this is where you can access the overall discount share that is attributed to the restaurant. Right? Then there's an additional construct that we run, which is the Swiggy One exclusive offer discount. Right? This is a special offering that the partners can opt in for. Right? It's a flat deal that we offer to our Swiggy One customers above a certain minimum value of the order. Right? So this is also something that can be opted in by the restaurant and can be borne and can be, and the a value that is charged can be seen here in this particular column, right? And column 3 basically gives me an overall sum of my overall discount that I as a restaurant is bearing, right? So this tells me, let's say if I was running both a coupon discount as well as a Swiggy one exclusive offer discount, right? Then this basically gives me the total discount that I have offered on that order as a restaurant, right? Then the net bill value. This is basically my item total plus packaging minus my restaurant discounts, right? So this tells me the net earning that I would have had on the order before taxes, and this also forms the basis of my tax calculation, right? GST collected is basically the value basis the 5% slab, right? So the value that we would have collected from the customer. This shows up here. And column A is basically my total customer paid, right? Which is nothing but the sum of my net bill value and my GST. Right? So this basically tells me the net sales I've made on the order. Right. Now, from here we start the second section, which is all the charges that Swiggy collects. Right. So this tells me the commissionable value, the value on which I'm charging the commission, the percentage of commission that I'll be charging to the restaurant. Right. So this is nothing but my percentage multiplied my commissionable value. This gives me an understanding of what my base commission is. Right. Similarly, we have long distance charges. We have Pocket Hero fees. Right. Pocket Hero is another offering that we allow our restaurants partners to participate in. Right. So through this, we try to tap in few more customers by giving them a little more discounts and cashbacks. Right. Then my payment collection, which is my payment gateway charges. Right. And then the GST which I'm collecting, right, on the net fees, as per the 18% slab, right? So this is nothing but charged on the sum of all the fields that you see here, right? If I do for 18% of that value, I arrive at what the GST is being collected for the commission, right? And this column tells me the overall deductions as part of the Swiggy fees that Swiggy is collecting, right? Then the customer cancellations. This is the basis the customer cancellation policy that is aligned to your restaurant. We pay a part of the value to you, right? And a part of it might be kept by Swiggy. In a lot of scenarios, we pay the entire amount to the restaurant, right? So the terms of it is mentioned in the policy clearly. Right? Customer complaints, basically, again, all my refunds that I'm giving to my customer that are being accepted or expired by the restaurant, right? We show that value here. Right? And this is essentially at an order level, what is the overall complaint and cancellation charges that I am bearing as a restaurant partner. I can access it from here. Then starts my total taxes section, which is my GST deduction, my 95 deduction basically. Right? My TCS we charge only to restaurants who are not registered with GST on the platform. Right? And basis the new terms, we charge 0.5% of the order value here. Right? Similarly, TDS, from October 1st, we've now started to charge 0.1% instead of 1%. So in the payout cycle or payouts that you start receiving from 10th October, you will see the TDS value being calculated based on the 0.1% methodology. So this is something that is being recovered for all orders, right? Column D tells me the overall taxes that I am liable to pay to the government, right? And then the net payout is the final earning at an order level that I might get, that I'm getting for this order, right? So this is the sum of my customer paid, right, minus all my fees that Swiggy is collecting, minus my complaint and cancellation charges, minus all the taxes, right? After I subtract the three broad values, I arrive at the final net earning for that order, right? And when I do an aggregate of this gives me an overall order level earnings that I'm supposed to receive in the payout, right? Following this, we've added a few supportive information which helps you also reconcile, right? long distance order, yes or no will tell me whether the order was a long distance order or not, right? Last mile tells me the distance between your restaurant or the pickup point to the point of delivery that the customer would have marked on the app, right? Uh, then MFR, these are the details. MFR accurate tells me if I am compliant with the way I'm pressing my MFR or not. Right? All of these data, pickup status tells me whether the order was picked up or not picked up, right? In the case especially in cases where it was cancelled. Right. So all of these fields basically can be used to arrive at and understand which policy was applied and how much I should have earned on the payment. Right. So till now we've covered the breakup and the order level view. The next few sections help me understand what is unresolved, right? What is the breakdown of my restaurant level charges, and then the glossary section, right? Unresolved basically tells me all the orders that were not acted upon by the restaurant, right? So for example, we see one order here, right? So this order, when the payout was being calculated, the restaurant had not resolved this complaint, right? So the moment they resolve it in the next cycle, they see the value, this order being shown in the order level sheet. So we consider this amount in the next cycle then, post all the recoveries, right? So this table gives me an understanding of all the orders that are in the process state, all the orders that are not in the not process state in the current period, right? So 223 were processed, one was not processed, right? This not processed will be processed in the next cycle once the resolution comes on the complaint. So this section will give me an understanding of a few orders that were not paid out to me in the current cycle, right? Uh, and then basically once I as a restaurant partner take an action on it, I automatically will get the money in the next cycle. Right. Then there is the other charges, the restaurant adjustment detail section, right? Which we also call as the other charges and refunds. Right. So this sheet essentially gives me a breakdown of all the adjustments, right? The restaurant level adjustments for different campaigns, right? The various invoice numbers, if it's a carry forward transaction, and then the amount that was settled against the transaction and the amount that is still pending to be recovered, which we will recover in the next cycle. Right. So that view can be available, can be seen here, and the partner can access this section to view to understand how the restaurant charges are being deducted. Right. What we've done is we've broken down this section into two tables, right? So one table tells me all the new or the fresh transactions, which are from the payout period, right? So all the transactions that I am being billed for in the current cycle is available here. Anything that gets carried forward from the previous cycle, I'll see it here in the second table, right? So this is essentially for partners to understand and identify the breakdown between their overall adjustments which are new versus their adjustments which are not new and being carried forward from previous cycles. Right. This table tells me the adjustment type. What we've done is we've now, instead of using uh, some internal terms, we've come up with very easy to understand nomenclature and terminology for the partners. Right. So CPC ads tells me the click ads that I'm purchasing. Right. Search ads tells me the search ads that I'm purchasing. Right. So we've now clearly given you a bifurcation of the different transactions for which we are recovering the money from your payout. Right, total amount tells me with GST, if it is a GST applicable transaction, what is the total amount that I am billed in the current cycle for this particular transaction. Settled amount tells me the money I have recovered now. So this is to be billed. This is what I have recovered. And outstanding will have the value of anything that I have not been able to recover due to shortage of order level earnings. Right. Then I see the period from and period to, which essentially tells me the payout, the transaction period between which this transaction was applicable. Right. And then the invoice number. So the invoice that I can use to actually go and backtrack and understand what is the GST split of this particular transaction. Right. And then there's a remark section, which our team sort of enters in order to help you with the understanding of what this transaction stands for and what is the reason for deduction. Right. So this is available for both. The same table is available. Let's say if there's a carry forward transaction, the same table is available here, right? And this I can use to identify what is the overall adjustments that I was supposed to recover, and then what I have settled and what is outstanding and being carried forward to the next cycle. Yeah. And then there's a glossary section. This basically explains all the transactions that are all the terms that we've used inside, right? And gives you a definition of these terms, which helps you get a little more clarity on what these terms stand for, right? So that uh, you can go back and see if the charge has been correctly accounted for in the payouts and your reports or not, right? So this is the annexure, right? This is a weekly report. You get this every week on your email. You can get it on demand on the application, right? There's an option to download the report in the past payout, right? Uh, so this is effectively the report that you can use for any sort of reconciliation that you have to understand your calculation and to understand your deductions uh, for the payout. Yeah. Melvin, over to you. I think I've covered the annexure part.
Yes, that was very insightful, Lalit. Thank you so much. I think it's time now to check back with our partners on how they can access their payouts. I think time for another poll check before we move on to the next session. Section, sorry. Okay, like I think a good number that's like more than 70 to 75% say that they can access it on both, which is correct. I think around 20% of our partners are used to accessing it on the Swiggy partner app. So
Sure.
I think it's almost done. It's around 70% of folks say both, and yeah, it's done. 71% say both, and around 22% say that they access it on the Swiggy partner app.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Uh, I really hope after this session I was able to solve a few of your doubts on the annexures, right?
yes. So, Lalit, now we've seen how to access payouts and also how to read annexures with that detailed explanation. So, let's move on to another important part, everyone. So, Lalit, how can partners access their longer term reports, right? Like, say, monthly or quarterly reports? And also, if you could touch upon the usefulness of these reports. Over to you.
Sure, Melvin. So I will just need to present my screen again. Can you just give me access again? Sorry, I'm lost.
Nelina?
Yes. All right. So a lot of times we receive a request from restaurants, right, where they effectively want to understand, uh, you know, I don't have access to my monthly reports. I get 4 or 5 annexures in a month, right? And it gets very difficult to collate them, reconcile them. And to solve for that challenge, to solve for that problem, what we've done is we've given you an option to download these reports from the app directly, right? So what you can do is once you enter the payouts and finance section, there's a download reports option available to you, right? Like I'm presenting on the screen. What effectively you can do here is you can choose to download everything for all your restaurants in one single report, right? You can choose to download the report for a month or for a quarter in a single request, right? So a single file will give you all the order level earnings, all the order level views of the report, right? And or you can also try if you let's say if you're a multi-state owner, what you can also do is you can download this report at a PAN or a GSTN level, right? So the reason why we've done is this is to simplify and ease your entire reconciliation process, right? And your tax filing process, right? So the moment you select your PAN, the GSTN gets auto. Oops, sorry. Give me one more second. So the moment I sort of yeah select my PAN, the GSTN gets auto filled here, right? I can select my city. Let's say if I have multiple cities in the state, if I want to do it at a city level, I can select my bunch of RIDs, right? Once I've selected everything in the form, so let's say, for example, if I want to download something for this particular pen, I see the GSTN, I see the city, right? I see the RID that is attached to it. What I do is I have two types of reports available. One is my annexures, so I consolidate all my annexures in a single report, right, for the selected time period. Or there is tax invoices, right? So tax invoices is nothing but it gives me a collated view of all the PDFs, right, that have been generated in a single zip file. So I can just simply use that, pass it on to my accountants, use it for my own accounting, use it for my filing, right? Uh, then I have an option to select the duration, right? So what I can do is I can go up to 2 years in the past, right? But I can only do 3 months in a single request, right? That's a slight limitation we have. But in a span of 3 months, I can do like a quarterly collation of my data, right? So let's say if I want to collate my data for for August 2024, right? I simply select August 24 here in my from date, and I go back to my to date, and I do, let's say if I want to do it till September, right? And I do September 2024 here, right? And tap on share. It'll ask me for an email ID. So this is not an instantaneous download because sometimes these reports take time to generate. So what we've done is we take your email ID wherever you want to receive this, if and you can add multiple folks also. So let's say if you want to send it to a couple of people in your organization, you can simply just enter your email ID here, right? Right, and just tap on send report. So what now it will do is essentially a request for the report generation has been sent to the systems, right? You will receive an email. Now that email can take anywhere between 30 seconds to 10 minutes, depending on the size of the data, right? So just patiently wait for the report to reach your inbox. Once you get the report on your inbox, you'll see two attachments. Click on the attachment, download the report, right? And then I'll just quickly show you what the report looks like. But once you download the report, you get an understanding of you get one single file which collates the all your orders that were sort of being requested for in the selected time period. Right. I'll just quickly move on to my report. Yeah. So this is the report that we received, right? So like you see, this is not spread over a week, but I see this for the entire month of August, right? So if a restaurant wants to just see the entire data for August in one single file, they can receive it through the method we just saw, right? And since if I have multiple RIDs, I also get a filter of filtering which RID I want to look at the data for, right? So RID is my restaurant ID. Then order date tells me the date of the order, my order number, my status, right? Cancellation in case who cancelled it, basically whether it was cancelled by the customer, whether the restaurant was responsible for the cancellation. Right. Then we have the item total. So this is essentially the same view as the order level view we saw in the annexures, right? So it tells me the item total, my service charges, packaging charges, sorry, any discount that I as a merchant is bearing, right? My net value, my GST liability, all of that data is available here. My platform fees, right? Which is my commission, right? So my charges, my taxes, right? So it's the same sheet. It's just that what we've done is we've collated everything in a single Excel to make it easier for you to access the data and run your analysis and run your accounting, right? You can do a similar download for your restaurant level adjustments as well, where restaurant level adjustments will tell you all the adjustments and the transactions for which we have recovered the amount, right? So yeah. So this is the report, right? So the various reasons why we were receiving this request is one to basically assess, right, how I am as an owner is performing on Swiggy, right, on a monthly or a quarterly basis, right? The other main primary reason is for my reconciliation, right? So I think since January there's a process that the government has mandated, right, where a reconciliation report has to be submitted from between the restaurant and Swiggy. So this particular report will form the basis of your reconciliation, right? You can use this to reconcile your side of data and then accordingly submit the acknowledgement on the GST while you're filing for a return. Right. So these are the two major primary reasons why we feel this is a very powerful tool, and I really encourage folks to start using this to make your life easier, right? That's the that's the end goal for us. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Melvin. I think I've covered this as well.
Hey, thanks, Lalit, for that useful information. Um, and thank you, Lalit, for the wonderful overview in general, the whole session. I mean, uh, I think it was great and it was a pleasure to have you with us today. I just want you to have this the final closing words on how everything the partners need is actually at their fingertips before we go for the feedback poll. Partners, I would request you to please give in your feedback on so that we can understand how you felt about the session, and the next time we do this, we would incorporate the feedbacks from this. Yeah, I can see some responses already. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really hope the session was helpful. Right. In case you are you still have a lot of questions, right? And if it's specific to your restaurant, I'd encourage you to either reach out to your sales POC, right? So the sales manager who's attached to your restaurant, or just drop in an email on the partner support email ID, and we'll get to it.
Okay, I can see more people responding. Thank you. So far, I think this is very promising. Around 97% of the people have said that they would attend future webinars as well. So that's quite encouraging. Yeah.
Yeah. I see about
Thank
roughly
you.
95% people are feeling much more
Yes,
confident now after the session.
that's
That's
very
great.
good to know. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Lalit, for your time. And thank you for all the partners who've participated today. And we hope to get back to you soon with another session on another useful topic. I think that's it from our end. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, folks. Bye bye. Have a great day.